Hello, it's Amber, your superhero stylist. It's August 18th, and today I am covering everything Blackest Night that came out last week on August 12th. And yeah, there'll be some spoilers, but I'm going to try to keep it under control for you. So kicking it all off, because there were a lot of books. Still not as bad as Dark Reign though, so gotta give DC some credit there. We're starting with Blackest Night Batman, #1. Now, as far as the mini-series go, I don't know how important these are going to be to the overall Blackest Night story. It's obviously, I think, up to reader's discretion as to if you think you need it. If you don't care about the Teen Titans, then I would say skip the Teen Titans mini, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm getting the Batman and the Superman crossovers. Even though they are completely separate, I don't know why they can't write these things into the main Batman title or the Superman title. I just don't understand. But anyway, we have Blackest Night Batman, #1. Just to be clear that it's different than the Batman title. Now, at this point, Dick and Damian are pretty well adjusted as their roles as the new Batman and Robin, despite the fact that I hate it. So here we see them cleaning up the desecrated graves of the Wayne family. Now, that's something you'd think would kind of arouse some emotional response, and you know, they're just kind of doing it like it's a job. Like, oh, this is a shame. Let's wrap up these bodies and let's just clean up the grave. It's just not working. I mean, especially from Dick. He really should have some sort of, I don't know, caring elicited from this. And it just isn't working for me in that regard. Now, Damian is psychotic. And so I kind of expect him to be an asshole about the whole thing. And, you know, it's clear that at some point Damian's probably going to be a villain because he just sucks as a hero. It's just not coming together at all. The crux of the issue, however, involves Dead Man, Boston Brand, and we don't get to see nearly enough of him. Thank goodness he's in Wednesday Comics, because he is a lot of fun. And it unfortunately brings in too much comedy into something that's supposed to be so serious. So the book's great and it's fun, and it's not supposed to be. So what happens is Dead Man sees a black lantern ring come down into his own grave, and he's risen right before his own eyes because he's kind of like a spirit, spectral being otherwise. And so he at that point understands what the Black Lantern Corps is about, and he needs to go tell somebody, and he decides that Bruce Wayne, Batman, is the person to do that. So of course he goes, and the only way to communicate is to for him to possess other people's bodies. Yeah, so when he possesses Dick's body and realizes it's not the Batman he knew, hilarity just starts to ensue, and then he jumps into Damian's body, and then he gets bombarded with all those psychotic images from Damian's brain. Nobody wants that. Really, you don't. So you kind of lose the sense of impending doom that there should be. So as far as that issue goes, there's really one very critical page about somebody, two people being risen by the rings that I think is important, but otherwise it really, you know, is something that you could otherwise pass on. So moving on to the main title, Blackest Night, this is issue 2, and there's a whole lot to cover in this, and that's because there are just so many characters. Honestly, the Black Lantern Aquaman storyline is amazing. It's so well done. It's kind of got this mixture of loyalty issues along with just outright brutality. I mean, it's harsh. There's just violence, blood spewing everywhere. And, you know, and at the same time you've got Mira, who's seeing this, you know, zombie version of her love, and it's got all of the emotion that the Batman issue was completely lacking. An interesting development, though, is the characters formerly known as Hawk and Dove. These were two brothers that were Hawk and Dove, and they're dead. Obviously, they had completely different personalities to have the monikers of Hawk and Dove. Dove is completely at peace. So he's dead and he's in his grave, and yet he's completely immune to the power of the Black Lantern ring. Whereas Hawk obviously got some unresolved issues, because Hawk gets a ring and he starts popping out of his grave. There's also a lot of other non-A-list characters, so a lot of the B stringers and C stringers. You'll see everybody from Shadow Pact and the Spectre. I mean, how phenomenal. You know, just a lot of awesomeness going on in this issue. It's much more exciting than Blackest Night Batman. The Flash and GL, of course, are in here as well. They've got to tackle Martian Manhunter and figure out how to stop him, how to get him at peace, and, you know, what to possibly do to get him just, you know, buried again and on Mars or someplace. So honestly, people make fun of Aquaman literally on a daily basis as being one of the worst characters of all time because he's kind of lame and it's like, oh wow, he talks to fish, big friggin' deal. Well, I'll tell you what, man, you got a whole swarm of sharks coming after you in a feeding frenzy. I mean, they're not zombie sharks, but still, they're friggin' sharks. You know, it's still pretty powerful. A lot of blood, like I said, and a lot of emotion. So, Aquaman's totally got me hooked on this Blackest Night issue. And then wrapping it all up, real quickly, is Green Lantern Corps 39. This is a very quick read, because there's really only one main thing going on in this issue, and that's the fact that the Black Lantern rings, thousands upon thousands of them, are bombarding Oa, and they're infiltrating the sacred crypt of where all of the dead Green Lantern Corps members are. And so there's no longer a protective shell around Oa, so there's almost nothing that the few Green Lanterns that are left can do to possibly protect this. So it's just going to be a massive uprising of Black Lanterns, formerly Green Lanterns. The other interesting thing is that we are now seeing, even though that they're all members of the Green Lantern Corps, they're all unique individuals with different personalities. Now, we've all known this for a long time, that, you know, Kyle's creative and Hal's got stronger willpower, and Guy Gardner is more of a hothead. And so here it really comes out because they actually show Guy with the ambient rage aura going on, and I just think that's a nice, cool development because we think of them as Green Lanterns, but at the same time they are going to be susceptible to all of the other colors of the emotional spectrum as well. So, sorry to be so long-winded, but 3 books to cover. I hope that makes you all happy, and just be sure to leave your comments and feedback, and tune in next week as well. So be sure to subscribe before you log out. Thanks.